Scientists say climate change is driving unseasonably high temperatures.
A record heat wave in Japan, major flooding in Australia, and a deadly avalanche in northern Italy.
About 50,000 people have been urged to evacuate their homes as floods hit the country's largest city for the third time this year. Parts of Sydney have received about 8 months of rain in 4 days.
It's just the latest in a series of flooding emergencies to hit the East Coast this year. Australia's emergency minister said the frequent disasters showed climate change must be taken seriously.
You can see nothing. It is water as far as the eyes can see, with those roads and that bridge cut off. This is the third flooding event to happen to this town in less than 18 months.
Also, extreme weather conditions have been slamming all parts of the world recently. A deadly glacial avalanche in Italy, catastrophic flooding in India, Bangladesh, and Australia, not to mention record-breaking heat waves in Europe, have all proven to be deadly.
It's a similar situation in China, where some southern provinces are flooded in the wake of Typhoon Chaba. State media broadcast dramatic video.
The rainy season here in Fujian province has led to floods throughout history. However, Chinese scientists are warning that climate change has made these events more frequent and more severe.
Switzerland, Germany, and Spain all saw their monthly temperature records broken last month as temperatures hit above 40 degrees.
In Japan, we've been telling you about the unprecedented heat wave this week that's got many worried about global warming and a possible shortage of electricity to keep the air conditioners going. Tokyo reported record-breaking temperatures on Thursday, making it the worst June heat wave in Japan since records began nearly 150 years ago.
These heat waves are not just a natural fluctuation in weather. Man-made climate change is making them more extreme and more dangerous.
Italy has declared a state of emergency as millions grapple with the worst drought in the country in 70 years. Water levels have dropped to record lows in lakes and rivers in the north of the country, and residents in some areas are now facing restrictions on how much water they can use.
Blazing fires and scorching droughts. In the face of rising temperatures, European nations are looking for ways to adapt to this new normal. In Spain, a combination of extreme heat and dry conditions sparked the outbreak of forest fires across the country. The June heat wave drove temperatures above 40 degrees Celsius in multiple regions, as high as 14 degrees above the monthly average.
Where at least 7 people were killed and 8 others injured when parts of a glacier collapsed in the northern Italian Alps. Well, video of the incident shows a mass of ice sweeping away everything in its path. Well, aerial footage reveals how powerful the avalanche was. You can see the scar running down the side of the mountain. It isn't immediately clear what caused the section of the glacier to collapse, but many have pointed to the effects of global warming. Here's Italy's Prime Minister on what happened.
This is dramatic, and it is certainly unpredictable. But it definitely depends on the deterioration of the environment and the climate situation.
Well, this was the glacier one day before the incident. Temperatures reached a record 10 degrees Celsius at the mountain summit that day. And it's widely known that the climate of the Alps is changing rapidly. Temperatures there have risen by around 2 degrees Celsius over the past 120 years, almost twice as much as the global average. Now, that's driving the retreat of the glaciers there. They're estimated to have lost half their ice volume since 1850.
Floods in Bangladesh and northeastern India have claimed the lives of at least 100 people and forced millions to leave their homes.
Unrelenting rainfall for more than a week caused the flooding. And while this is a common occurrence in these low-lying areas during the monsoon season, Bangladeshi officials say it's the worst they've seen in more than a century.
And what changes have you recorded? I mean, what are you seeing? Are you seeing this impact that you just described?
Yes, indeed. So we've looked at the size of the Azores High over time, how that has been changing in instrumental data, so station data that was taken across meteorological stations all over Europe over the last 150 years or so. And we found that over the past century, the number of extremely large Azores high events during wintertime has increased significantly. Since 1980, it's actually 2 to 3 times more likely to have such an extremely large Azores high during winter than in the previous 100 years. We also wanted to put this into a longer context. 100 years is not that long in a climatic context. And so we've gone to climate model simulations that extend these records back about 1,200 years. And we found that the number of extremely large Azores high that we've seen during the last 100 years is actually really unusual in the context of the last 1,200 years. At no time during the last 1,200 years did we see that many extremely large Azores high. And so that's a pretty significant change to previous conditions.